Let's take you back to George in the Western Cape. President Cyril Ramaphosa has now arrived not too far from the site of that devastating building collapse that now took place more than 10 days ago. Watching the situation from a close vantage point is our reporter Lerato Fekisi, who joins us now live. And Lerato, we've seen the president finally arrive. He's been taken very swiftly inside a building not too far from where you're standing. What do we know about what's going to happen next?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct, Ayanda. The president just arrived a few minutes ago and he's been called inside a meeting that's close to the media. Earlier on, we saw the arrival of Minister of Home Affairs, Motsoaledi, the Premier of the Eastern Cape, of the Western Cape, Alan Windy, the Deputy Minister of International Relations, Mr. Alvin Bose, the Minister of Labour, Thulas Nxesi, and also the Minister of Social Development, Lindiwe Zulu, first making their way arrive. And then they had a brief session with obviously briefing each other about the latest concerning the collapse of the George building. But also, Ayanda, interestingly, late last evening, the correspondent came out from Lerato, which is a developer responsible for this building, and they were saying that, number one, they sympathize with the families that have been affected by this tragedy. They also said that when the tragedy did happen, they did deploy their personnel and resources to assist. They went to further say that it's still early stages at this time to say or comment on what could have happened to cause this tragedy, but saying that they are committing themselves to complying fully with the Department of Labour and other investigators and the SAPS to ensure they get down to the bottom of what happened during that fateful day 9 days ago. This morning, though, interestingly, we also got to speak to the head of disaster here in the Western Cape, Mr. Calvin, and he was just saying that tomorrow they are due to actually hand over all the proceedings of the rescue operations to the SAPS, and the site will then become a crime scene. And he said that right now, in terms of the digging process, they've reached close to the basement level. They also are also aware that have also heard that apparently it's actually a car inside the building, inside the structure itself that collapsed, and they want to try to get that car first. I then went to also ask him, is he at this stage thinking there's still bodies inside? And he said there are some dogs that are able to track or give them indication there may still be bodies, by saying tomorrow officially they will hand over that site to the SAPS. But we're also here to speak about the workers, and that's why the Minister of Home Affairs is here to speak about the undocumented foreign nationals that were there, to account for them and to say, how did this happen at this time? And I'm joined this afternoon by a member of the NUM to speak to us briefly about their concerns concerning this incident. Earlier on, you were saying that it's really unfair that at a time where there is so much lack of jobs, especially here in the Western Cape, there are people that are working in a centre which are undocumented, which is one of the gripes that you have as NUM. Masibulelo.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's first send our condolences at the National Union of Mine Workers to the families and South Africans, even to the Africans that are affected by the incident. But more or less, we wanted to appreciate the visit of the President and the visit of the ministers who are here. But we call upon the President that his visit to come here must make sure that it's bringing justice to the families and justice to Africans. And because the realities that we are raising here, that there are questions more than answers on what happened to the site. There are regulators, there are departments in the government which are regulating on how we work in the site, in the construction. But here, that was not happening. If it was happening, it was happening in the opposite side. Department of Labour was inspecting the place, but they inspected the place and they find out that the contract, the white-owned contract, that now the owner is disappearing, was not following the permit that was issued to them, which the permit was giving them a work that must be done within a period of 6 months and employ 30 people and less. And when they realized that, the question is that why they did not stop the construction, why the construction continued. And when the building was starting from the foundation and going up, it also realized by the department that the building itself, it goes to a period where it will be more than 6 months. And the permit is talking about 6 months, because here is governing DA, and DA now is quietly silent. They are not making noise. If it was in another province, DA or station was going to go all over here and make noise. Now there are no noise now, because it's here at Western Cape where they want to treat this province as if it's another country. We are not going to allow such. There are labor laws here in South Africa of which each and every worker must be abided towards, and every worker is having a right is having a right to health and safety by the employer, by himself. So if now we are sitting here, we'll have president visit, where even we don't have records. The contractor here, there's a local municipality, there is district municipality, there is a province, but you are telling us that there is no records for workers who are working there. So it tells you that, and we are told that this white-owned company was not the first contract that they are constructing there. They contracted many other buildings here, and they kill people. And no one exposed those noise. No one make any noise about that.
Thank you,
so
Mr.
this is what we are addressing here.
Thank you so much, Budram. That was Masibulele from the NUM, Masibulele Maki, Secretary of the NUM, just obviously voicing the concerns of the workers, saying that there's been allegations that many of the workers on site on that day were not documented, and saying that he hopes that the visit of the President, especially the visit of the Minister of Labour, will address such issues as to how did that happen, if it did happen, and also get down above all to the reason what caused that collapse 9 days ago. Let's go back to the studio.
Lerato Fekisi, thanks very much indeed for that update. As you can see, we're keeping a close eye on the situation in George in the Western Cape. As soon as the President speaks, of course, catch it first here live.